So hope you guys remember what we have discussed at the very first class. So any doubts around that, or what shall I ask the questions? Are you guys ready?
Yes,
Yes.
Lakshmi, we will try.
Okay. So what were the roles that we have seen for the OTL manager? The seated role. Can it be customized? Any answers? It's totally silent. Naveen, Ram Patel, Brahmam. Any answers on the question? Do you guys remember what we have discussed the last week? The first session on the roles for the OTL user as an employee, as a line manager. Yes, no. Any replies? It's complete silence.
Like employee, line manager, time and label administrator.
Yes. So what is the specific seated role? Do you guys remember? I hope we discussed the last time.
Employee seated.
I'm sharing the screen also. You guys remember this one?
Line manager.
Line manager for?
Time and labor.
Administrator.
There are two functional, one other for transactional. We will for functional time and labor administrator we will role, and for a transactional time and labor manager we will.
Okay, so actually these are the customized one. The seeded ones are all there in the environment. I think I have shown them also. We can also look into it. So let me go back to the slides and just refresh your memory on that. So here we have the ecosystem and the navigation work areas, the core configurations, what we have, which is on the time attributes and fields, layouts. So I'll navigate through the system directly one by one, so you guys can remember what I'm about to tell you. And fast formulas development side, which is advanced level integration, and third party integration like time devices or web clock, biometric system. So those are the integrations that we can have, system integrations and compliances. Okay. So you remember the concept of time entry, right? So what are the ways that we can enter the time?
Punch in, punch outs. Am I right?
Yes, Bhavya. Punch in, punch out as a device we can do through biometry, which can be also pulled into the system, Oracle system. And also inside Oracle system, what we can do? How we can enter the time?
Like
So
start elapsed.
I think you are telling about the work schedule side of it. So I'm asking like two ways. One is web clock and time entry sheet. So I'll show you both. Okay, let me directly navigate to the environment and hope you can see. So Curtis is a super user. Let me tell you why he is a super user. So you can see me tab. So as an employee, he can perform the activities. Where he can perform exactly is time and absences window, where he can go. So first let's see how an employee can able to view or enter the time. So let's see like existing time cards, if any. Existing time card is used to see what are all the past time transactions that is made by Curtis Petty, he himself. Okay, so we see a lot of entries here for the period. Okay, and also let me go back and show you Curtis himself. This is the environment. Let's go and check his person management. First, what are all the payroll relationship? So that we get to know the pay frequency, and we'll see the things one by one. Okay. Sweden. Okay, so this is an employee login. Let me use this and put the URL. So I'm using multiple browser pages. So that's why I can able to easily log in as an employee and show, as a line manager and show, and as a super user parallelly. Just don't want to log out and log in again. Yeah, just waiting. We see here. So we can see the future proof as a person. We are just logging into the environment. And I think Bhavya just told that you went to as an employee and checked the time for this future user login. Whereas there is no time cards attached, means there is no time card related steps being attached to this employee. So you can't able to see anything to create time card for this person. That's the reason. First, it might be confusing. Just observe the system, how it is responding. I'll tell you how the pieces can be connected one by one. Okay. So you see, there is no time card exists for the current, and we don't have the option of plus symbol, right? Wherein you can able to see for the Curtis. There is an plus icon, and we can able to see a lot of entries already existing for the person. But for this, there is nothing. So getting back and going to the person management area, and let's see the details what the Curtis employee have. You can see Curtis Betty 101. You can use the number or the name. Okay, so here we have he is belonging to the legal employer US1 legal entity, and last performed action is the change of manager for this employee, and the business unit you can see job positions, and he is a Harley employee. So that's the main reason he can able to enter the time in the timesheet. Okay. So, and weekly 40. So that is what his standard working hours also. And FTE is a full-time equivalent, which is standard hours, how it has been the working hours. So this is the ratio we get it for the FTE. And you can see the line manager, Mitch Blum and Linda. So these two are the line managers. One is the line manager and another one is the project manager. For example, in an organization, we all have our supervisor, the superior person, who will be our line manager. Whereas once you get as a consultant hired into the system, you will get into a project, and that project will have a separate project manager. So that's the reason he have two different managers added. For example, it is while going for approval, so it should also route for line manager to see that how much hours the employee worked on and need to do the approval. Or in absence case also it goes with the same way. But it is of different setup for the approvals. And here it also goes to the notice of project manager. We can set up that way. So there the line manager, project manager can be used. I'm just talking about the how it works for time and labor side of it. And we'll see what is his payroll relationship. So that is also on another important page that we need to look. So we see the start date is 6/15. That is the hire date of the employee, and which you can also view it in from the employment tab. The hire date 6/15/5, and here we need to adjust this date to the hire date once he begins the payroll. Sometimes you can go directly and as of date will be shown as today's date. We need to update to the hire date, and you need to add the payroll relationship. So make sure this is added. and payment detail. This is the most important section that we need to look when the employee is eligible for the overtime period. So whether FLSA is applied, since this employee belongs to US legislation and we are discussing on the US legislation. So this contributes a lot on the time card area in the future. So these are the basic things, setups we need to look into the employee before getting into the configuration is what the discussion is about. And time card required or not. If you click here no, then you can't able to do the time entries as well. So make sure you leave it blank or you make sure to make it as yes. Okay, only then the employee can able to enter the time. So as Bhavya said before, the future proof employee, so he may not be able to enter the time from the Me tab as shown before. And let me go back to that screen. So this is the future proof, right? So basically this is Curtis himself under the Me tab with the existing time card area where he have the ability to create a time entry. Okay, so there is also a plus icon where he can go ahead and enter the time and also view the existing time cards. What are the previous time entries that he had performed can be viewed there. Okay. This is what I was mentioning about. What is this is the area that we need to focus at before getting into the testing portion of it. So sometimes before going into the end-to-end testing, the configurations may be done by someone else. Then they will ask us to do the testing, how it is working. On that part, we need to check whether the testing employee have these details already available from the person management window. Then proceed with the testing how the system is working. So this is how you need to check for the employee whether they are eligible to do the testing on the time and labor side of it. Okay, so let's see how we can enter time. So let's get into as a Curtis Petty. He himself the employee. Let me show the 3 possible ways. He himself the employee and also the line manager and also the part of HR team. So he can able to have the access of my client groups, my team and me tab. So I'm just pausing here. Let me know if you guys have any doubts or we can proceed further to see the environments. Task pages. I see Banu, Bhavya, Brahmam, Jansi. Any doubts or we are good to go the next? After 5 minutes, I will be asking questions around these areas. Remember. Yes, no, any reply?
Yeah, means can you just summarize what exactly till now explained? Means time card entry enabled as only then only we can able to enter the time card.
Correct.
Other than what else?
Other than that, so that is a very basic thing, Naveen. Good that you asked that question. We need to just focus on once again. So you need to just focus on these time card required area. Though we have the configuration setups done for the employee, the major part will come on HCM groups. So I will list out the tasks which we can discuss in detail. First, I want to understand how the activities are performed actually in the environment. So while you might not be getting the implementation at the very first go, the first go would be the testing side of it. So you'd need to make sure the employee is all set for testing and all. So good that if you get the implementation in the first go, but we need to prep the employee. So this is what I mentioned, how we can make the employee ready. This is the one part from the person management area. So from the configuration side, I'll discuss in detail now. Okay.
Okay. How can you said that the Curtis PT is a super user?
Sorry, how can we?
Confirm that Curtis PT is a super user. You
Super
mentioned.
user. So I'm telling super user in the sense he has the access to my client groups, right? So which is we should be aware of the business terminology. So I mean here super user is someone who is acting as a HR, who have the access to my client groups. So usually when we coordinate with our clients, right, their system, their legacy system, which means their current system that they are in practice with, before getting adapted with Oracle Fusion, they might have SAP as their legacy system, or any of the systems that anything that they might use. Even UKG is one of the popular systems they use for time entries and payrolls, I guess. Payroll, I'm not sure, but time entries they use for sure, UKG. So those are the systems. So we need to understand the business business terminologies. For example, legal entity, how you define legal entity is a terminology that is used within Oracle. But in their legacy system for SAP, for Workday, how they will define. So as a business, they will ask, what is the enterprise that they have? So what are the company setup? So what are their branches? So those are the business terminology. I mean here, Curtis Pitti as a super user because he have the access to my client group. You got it, Navin? My client group access he have the in the security, from the security console, he has the roles, so he can able to access the my client group. Basically, the HR area.
HR specialist role.
Correct. HR specialist.
Navin, to summarize here, it's a naming convention. People will follow in a different organization. Okay. If you are in Deloitte, you will follow something. If you are in E&Y, you will follow something. If you are in Oracle, you will follow something. So basically, my client groups means you are having access to HR specialist role. You can call it as HR specialist, or if you are particularly using super user kind of naming convention, you can use that. Okay. So particularly me, my team, and my client group. Me means employee, my team means manager, and my client group means HR specialist. That's it. Okay. The naming convention you can call anything. Okay.
Okay.
Clear, Navin?
Yes, Lakshmi, you can go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Pavan. And yes, so my client group, under my client group, we are getting into time and management. So this is the work area. So we being the Curtis being the HR specialist, going into the time management area. So this is the springboard that we need to remember. So we see here time management overview. System is just loading. So you can see team time cards. And by default, since it is being the Redwood page, we can see the date range starting. It's coming off the pay period. And just remove the filter so you can see. So in specific, I just want to see if Sue Eden, one of his subordinate, do have any kind of rules. It's not there. Colin, let's see. And time period already is approved. Or we can also create a new time card. Let's see. Okay, while creating, we can see the names coming up. Okay, automatically. So if you want to specifically identify an employee and create the time entry, just know the person number or the name, just type here. If you can't able to scroll down or you want to get the name immediately, do the search here. You'll get it and just click on that. And we see the current period is picked up in the process and you can get it adjusted to any period. So we see it here. Let's try adding for Feb month. So I'm just showing you how the UI works. Configuration side, we will understand in detail. So once you get idea about the UI screen, the tabs, the fields, how we can see, We will go and discuss in detail how each tab is getting viewed and able to perform the activities. Okay, so you can see the projects, tasks, and expenditure type, start time, stop time, quantity. These fields are all editable. We can do the configuration change from the setup and maintenance area. And sometimes they will ask for, someone was mentioning about elapsed time and this thing, right? The work schedules you were mentioning. So based on that, we can make the changes here. Somebody just need to have a quantity like 8 hours a day. So in many of the companies, they practice a rule of 8 hours working, 9 hours working, just book for 8 hours. Majority the flexi timing. They don't have a start or stop. They can work any time in a day, but the aim is to finish or complete 8 hours or 9 hours in that day. So they don't have a specific start and stop time. If there is a shift involved or any specific overtime involved, they'll make the start and stop time like morning 5 to 2 shift and 2 to 11 shift. So those kind of shifts timings. In that case, we might need a start and stop, and quantity is something we can make it auto populated. Like once you enter the start and stop, we can able to get the quantity. And likewise, once you enter, you can see the total hours. And let me show you an existing one. Okay, this is already approved. Let me open it and show you how we can see the time card. Okay, so here we see the hours type, which is regular. We can enter the overtime and the cost centers, which is we need. It is completely dependent on the requirement of the client. Sometimes they might have multiple assignments. For example, Jeff Colin is a person who is a part-timer in a specific role as a support engineer or something, and full-time role as a consultant. So there are two different assignments added. So they want to track both the assignments time entry. In that case, they might have a field called a separate field for assignments tracking. So it depends and varies based on the client's need. So I'm just giving an outlook how the requirement looks like. We will discuss in detail about the configurations going forward. Start time, stop time, 9 to 6 is the employee working. And for this 26th of Jan, and likewise they are doing entries. The total hours is 41 here. You can see the total hours, 9 hours. View total, time total. Okay. And the quantity likewise for this day it is going on, and total it is showing on. And if you scroll down, so this is complete on the Redwood side. Previously, it was not looking like this. It was of different setups completely. We didn't have this feature of viewing it. We need to go next pages, and we need to view the totals and calculated time and all. So it just made us life easy. We can see it in the single page just by clicking on the buttons, and we can just view it in the single page. The reported hours is getting populated. Okay. And save the template. Go back. So we also have the option to save and close or submit and cancel. So in between, you feel that you have entered the wrong time. Before saving or submitting, you just cancel, go back and you can retry. Or you can just make the editings here. And sometimes you feel that you need to confirm with your manager, then you can save and close for that day. Just by end of the week, they will submit it. So these are the possible actions. These are also configurable. So now I'm getting back to the page. Just doing a cancel and getting back. So we see again, I'm going in and just view the calculated time. So in case of overtime, something is there, we can use this button to see how it is getting properly calculated because they have a different rate of calculation. Example 1.5 or 2. So that can also be configurable from different task area, I'll tell you. So this is calculation. So you can see calculated quantity and yes, the same thing. But you can see the reported quantity and calculated quantity. So, okay. We can see 1 hour is coming on overtime. You can see it here, right? On the day of Jan 30th. So this is what we can see it in the calculated time. What are the other things got added with that and how is that being performed? Okay.
Yeah.
You can also filter out.
1 minute, Lakshmi.
Yes.
Bhavya, why it is showing 1 hour as overtime?
Reported time calculated quantity is 8 hours. So maybe 1 hour is a break time.
Okay, so can anybody answer this question? Naveen, why it is showing 1 hour as overtime?
So
8 hours is the shift. 7 hours completed. 1 hour to do the work.
there 9 to 5 is a working hour.
See, actually, while while hiring an employee, we have selected as full-time equivalent. What is meant by full-time equivalent?
Based on the working hours, it will calculate
Yes. So when we see while
40
hiring
hours.
an employee, we have given what is the actual hours per week?
40.
40
40 hours.
hours.
So, but he has reported how many hours? So, how many hours he has
41
reported?
hours.
So that's why it is showing 40 as a full-time equivalent. The remaining 1 hour as overtime. Okay, you got it right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
always remember overtime means if you are reporting more than 40 hours in US legislation, it will be reporting as overtime. Suppose if you go to European legislations, they are having 38 or something like that. Based upon the country to country, it will vary. Okay. While configuring the legislation itself, we will report how many hours we are going to work per week. Okay. If it is 40 hours, if somebody is reporting more than 40 hours, it will show as a overtime. Okay. Okay, Lakshmi, you can continue.
Thanks, Pawan. Yes, that's right. So that is the reason I was going to the person management area and explaining you about the standard working hours and working hours that we can know about. If the FTE is different, then the calculation differs here. So we have 40 hours and 1 hour of overtime. So it's getting automatically done here. And let me clear out. And once you get into the calculation, then you can view the total. So you can see this scheduled hours as reported of 40 and calculated of 40, but the total hours is 41. Here on 26th, he had an overtime, and the scheduled deviation, the standard working hours is 40, whereas the working hour that he had entered through time is 41. So here we have one deviation happened, 1 hour of deviation, and we don't see any absence entries. So I will tell you there is a task area, only one area, one task where you can able to just connect the absence into time entry, which is from the absence area you can enable, and also here in the layouts you can make it viewable. That is also possible as a separate field. Okay, so that I will discuss in the configuration when it comes. Just remember that we have the option of just integrating and viewing the absences in Timecard itself. So this is how the Timecard looks like. So this is one way of time entry that the employee or the line manager or Curtis being the HR specialist, he can enter the time for any employee in the organization. For example, if the employee is out on sick or he is absent for so long, he can't able to get into the system, then on that case also, the HR specialist can get into the time card area and do the changes. Okay, so or in case anything happened the last moment, there is some change from the management side, he can go and do the changes here. So these are all the things that Curtis Petty has a HR specialist doing. So this is the same layout that looks for even the employee and the line manager. We can see it now. Okay, any doubts around this area? This timesheet.
This
So you have the
deviation
option.
means what exactly? Scheduled
Sorry,
deviation.
Navi.
Scheduled deviation means what?
Deviation is something that just now Pavan asked, right? Why the 1 hour of overtime came?
Yeah, overtime I understood. Deviation means
So deviation is something apart from the normal working hours. What is the extra hours? So what is the deviated hours the employee that worked on? So that is 1 hour here. Standard working hours is not there, right? He worked for 9 hours instead of 8 hours. The standard hours, as per the schedule, employee schedule is 8 hours. But he worked for 1 hour in excess. So that is the deviation here. So comparing with the English terminology, right? English language itself, deviation is something that is apart from the normal thing. So
got it.
apart from the normal standard hours, what is the extra hours that he had worked on, or from the schedule that we'll see also, like from the schedule point, how it is getting impacted. But this is the basic thing that we can understand from the time entry screen. So this is the time entry screen. One way of doing time entry.
Yeah,
Any
got
other
it.
doubts?
Lakshmi, as you said, employee and line manager, HR specialist, these three persons can enter the time and
Yes.
can do edit. They can do delete also.
We can restrict those functions. We can restrict the employee to delete it, update it, and just enter it. So that is also a task area we can see. That is a very good question, Bhavya. It is possible through Oracle Fusion. And also we can grant permission to update or delete. But ideally, what the client's requirement would be, they should not delete it. Only after getting permission from the line manager, the line manager can able to delete it or make the changes. That is what sometimes the requirement changes. But we do have the option of updation and deletion possible once it is submitted. And even after approval, that is also configurable and possible. So that things we can discuss, that is very sensitive area. We can check one by one in the configuration side, but that is a very good question. So as of now, this employee can be updated or deleted. Let's see, like restrictions are there. Let's see. So let me select this row. So you can see the options, right? So as Bhavya was asking, you can able to edit. So if it is in submitted status, you can just click on this one and you can click on actions. So previously it was of different tabs in the classic UI. So you can see here different buttons, basically like approve, delete, update, and all. It all consolidated into actions button, and it is like a list. You can see submit, delete. You also have the option of print, approve. So you can perform from this area. See, I'm editing it. Okay, you can see it here. So previously I was just viewing you, showing you how the time card was there. So now you can see this, there are the list of values getting populated under the hours type. Okay, just double click. You see the list of values, holiday, overtime, regular, sick, and those things. Okay. If I want to enter sick and just removing for this day. Okay, you can see the quantity is just vanishing off, right? And 9, just clicking on the tab, moving to the next, and just clicking on 5. enter the stop time between the start and midday. So these are all the information. 1 second. Or I think the quantity it asks sometime. 1 second. I'm just simply entering the 8 hours on the 6th day. Okay. So let's try to submit it, or first save and close. So we have you need to enter the start and end time to record an absence. If you need these fields added to your time card, contact your administrator. 1 second. So that is some validation that they have set up. I think it is possible of adding 9 to 5. No, it's coming now. AM and here, let me see, PM is not getting into. Okay, so we see the entries. Sometimes system picks automatically. We can set up those. Or else sometimes we can set up this start and stop type should be added. So these are all the limitings, validations. Let's see. It should save and close as we enter the start and stop time. This time card has some warnings that might be your action. Working hours enters for the less than the. Okay, so just it is giving us an information that the standard working hours is 40, which is not met because the 8 hours of absence is there. Just for our, just gives a warning, and still we want to save and close. Just as an FYI, the warning message. There are 2 types of information that we can see. One is warning and one is error. If we get error, then we can't. The first time we saw the error message, right? It is not allowing me to enter or do the save and close. But whereas the warning message just allowed me to do the save and close. So warning message is something as an FYI for your information. Just need to know and come to the attention of the person who does the activity. Whereas the error message is strictly restricting the system or the person not to proceed further with the activities in the system in this area. So we need to be very mindful on the error messages, what is happening there in the environment, what is the thing that we are doing wrong. It gives us an information, and based on which I corrected. I just looked into that the AM PM is different, so that's why the system is not accepting the numbers. Okay, and we see that the start and stop time to be added and quantity is must for the absence entry. We have did it, and the save and close, just saved and closed it. Getting back and just viewing. So once you click that hyperlink, you can able to view. There's something happening here. It should really get saved. So I'm just submitting here. Sometimes some glitch might happen. So you can go back and come again to the same screen. I'm just submitting it. Again, the warning came and I submitted it. And let's see. It's just taking some time. You can see time submitted, one buffer symbol came, right? And see the exception tab, the warning is coming up where from outside also you can able to view the warning. So what is exactly happened inside? It's just bit buffering. 1 second. Okay, now you can see the status as submitted. Previously it was in approved status, but now it is in submitted status. So this is how there are different statuses. Once you save and close without submitting, it will show as entered. So that also we can try that. Once again, approval history. So these are the Redwood features. We can see these kind of things here. Approval histories, who is assigned to which line manager and submitted by whom. So I did the activity currently, right? Curtis Fetty. So that we can see submitted by Curtis Fetty. So now if the employee is been from the approval side, So it should be assigned to the line manager, might be the expectation. So we can check from the approval side how the approval flow is going on. Might be sometimes they will expect to go to the project manager and line manager if the employees employment page have both project manager and line manager. If not, they will make to get it assigned only to the line manager. So those are configurable from the approvals page. Based on that, you can see this assigned to name. Okay. So I pass here and ask for questions. Brahmam, Bhavya, Bhanu, Naveen, Swaroop. Any doubts? Or are we good to proceed further? So once you ask some questions, I can give you better clarity at, and also Pawan can add some points if needed. So that way we can fill the gap if I miss to answer or address anything.
Yeah, team, you can ask any questions.
So this is just from the HR screen that we are viewing. We can also see the line manager and employee tab. I know it's like it shouldn't be too much at the initial days. You should not feel it is a hard thing. So that's why the reason I'm just practicing you to get into the UI, have these employees into the environment, test individually. So you, like rightly Bhavya asked, so how we can edit, how we can do this, is it possible? So that's how we can explore each and every tabs and sections and configurations area. So you will ask the doubts within yourself. How it is configurable? How is it possible? Is it possible to edit? Is it possible to delete? How the approval can be done? So this is in real time. So in organization, how it can work. So what will happen if the requirement of the client is like this, is like that? How we can do that? So that those ways you start thinking instead of just going and manually following the steps of configuration. First, understand the business as a time entry, like how we can do from the UI, get understanding. So this is how, get used to it. Go and see the environment once, twice, multiple times. What are the options there? So then slowly we will start with the configurations. Then you will easy to understand and link. Oh, okay, this is how you can visualize and picturize, do mind mapping in your mind itself, like how the things are getting connected, just connecting the dots. So that's why I just explored the UI first. So you will, we are currently doing the brainstorming, like how we can do, how this are configurable. So you will develop a curiosity, how we can do this. So once you get into the implementation, you will feel very easy. Okay, this is how it is getting linked. Always practice whatever that we are discussing. So now we have explored this my client groups side, which is from the HR specialist. As a HR specialist, how we can go and do individual activities using this employee itself. You can perform. I'll share the name and number in the chat. You can go and use the same employee, do some changes, or I'll give some 10 employees who's already there in the environment. So pick assign employees individually and use one employee for one person, and you can work on that employee so that one's employee will not be messed with the others testing. Okay, you won't get confused also. So I'll tell you the employees' names and this thing also, the credentials also. You can go and check inside it and perform activities of creation and deletion and all. Once you are okay, next class we will step into the configuration side of it. You understand, okay, this is why it is happening. So this is how this action buttons we can able to control. This is how we can able to do the overtimes and all entries and all. That's why we can get the fields viewable there. So that's why I'm asking you questions then and there whenever it is needed. It shouldn't be a single one-way communication. So more interaction, the more you gain the information at. Because sometimes on a high level, I will think that I have covered many things, but in deep, so the gaps when you ask, then I will pick up that and will try to address all those things. Okay.
Yeah. Lakshmi, suppose if employee not able to submit the time card, means how can we start? First, what we need to troubleshoot? How can we start?
Not able to submit the time card.
Yeah.
Currently, we are seeing as a HR specialist. So we need to go to the Me tab and check.
Oh,
Okay. So from the screen, any questions? We will see that from as an employee, we will see how we can enter time. So how we can't able to see it. So I think Sue Eden. So see this employee, Sue Eden, is one of the subordinate of this Curtis Petty user. So he is also acting as a line manager, right? He do have the access of Me tab. So answering your question, let's go back there. So my team. So I believe you guys have a core HR idea. So
yeah.
tell me the area where we can find the subordinates list or the line managers subordinates list. Which task
Under
area you can find?
a team activity center.
Okay. So what is the use of this team activity center?
Under that manager, what are all the subordinates working? We can see that list of them.
Okay. We can see. And also what is the core use of this activity center, team activity center? Anybody? You rightly mentioned we can view the subordinates list here, the team members list here. But what are all the possible things from this activity center we can do? What is the use of these three dots? So any page, any springboard, whenever you get into, check what are all the possible activities can be performed. So from this screen itself directly you can go and check the balances, add any assignments, do what are all the possible things, view more. I'm giving view more and see what are all the possible things possible. I mean, adding time, adding document, performance related. So you should be clear in every screen. What are all the use of each and every task area? From activity center, we can see the employees, the team name. But for the team members, what are all the activities you can perform? The name itself defines activity center. What activity you want to perform for this employee? Either want to add the assignment or want to change the assignment, change the manager, location, working hours. So explore these options individually, whatever is there. See, from here also you can directly add a time card. Add other time cards or current time card. Current time card means it automatically creates, we can see the current pay period coming up. You can just go and submit it. Other time cards, you can have the option of selecting. Even here, you can have the option of doing that. So this is how individual activities say. Check for the employee. What are the possible things that you can do? That was my question. You said that we can see the employees, but what activities we can perform? So this might be one of the questions that will come in the interviews as well. Okay. So this is from the employee. So that's the reason I just showed you. So you can see here Stu Eden, right? So he is one of the team member of Curtis Petty. But this employee only have the employee's role. When you go and check in the security console, so first, familiar completely with the UI. What is the role? What is the use of this roles? What is the use of this users? So once you know about each and every field, what are the options available? So when you are asked a question in the interview, so when the requirement comes up like this, what is the task area that you will go? Where you will do the configurations? What is the easy way of navigation? So you can answer easily. You will visualize the task area and you will answer on the spot. So you can see only the employee role is assigned. And this employee doesn't have Me tab also. Oh, yeah. Here, Me tab is there. And other than that, sorry guys. Yeah, he doesn't, she doesn't have any line manager or any other specialist role or admin role, nothing. So you can see just a Me tab and related tasks for this employee. Okay. and we just going into the time and absences and just viewing if there is any existing time cards for the employee. It's just loading. Okay, so you can able to add the time card here, but whereas using some other easy, any user doesn't have. See, it's loading. Okay, so here you see I have added a current time card and just see the list of values are empty. So getting back to your question, Naveen, so we see that this employee have some, the UI is different. The layout is itself is different. Stu Eden, remember this layout? It's projects, tasks, and expenditure type. Okay. Whereas getting back here to time management, migrant group, and going to the time management area. Okay, just clicking on the team time card, we'll explore this time management overview and other things. But I just want to know you about the time entry area for the as a whole, for the layout, how it looks like. Okay, so this employee is submitted currently. We'll open this again. Just want to show you the difference. Where you can see the hours type, the cost center, start and stop, quantity. So this is how the layout looks like for this employee. And why this employee, the other employee, Sweden, she has different layout.
Only employee role.
Sorry,
Yes.
Navi?
Only me tab is available.
Employee role.
Employee role.
Employee role, no. It is another reason because this employee, the Sweden person, doesn't have the same layout but mapped. The main connecting dot is HCM groups. That is the task area. Based on the eligibility, the employee gets picked up in the process. Just remember the task area HCM groups. Okay, I will tell you while we are getting into the configuration. By that time, I will ask you guys the same question. So, which is the connecting dot? So, HCM group here is the hero who just gives you the layout here. If you are not choosing the eligibility properly there, the employee won't get picked up and getting the layout. So, by default, the Oracle system has this layout. Okay, so this is the layout that it is. It is not configurable if it is not configured properly. It doesn't have proper list of projects added to it and tasks added to it and assigned. Basically, that layout is not assigned to the employees. So by default, it picks up for everyone, but you can't see any data inside the list of values coming up. The complete linkage is done for this employee. This employee does have the HCM groups, the layouts. We will pick this employee and see what are all the task areas linking, why we are getting this layout, why this Sweden is not getting this layout. We will discuss in detail when we are looking into the employee. If time permits, I can do it right away. We can see and explore. Just picking up. So before that, I'm just making sure you guys are okay with this team time cards area. As Sakatis Feti being the HR specialist from the My Client Group's task area, we are doing this time entry task. So now you see this approve button is enabled, right?
Yes.
Okay. Previously it was not. Yes, someone was asking something.
No, Lakshmi.
Okay. So clear from this area. So Naveen, your question was employee can't able to enter the time from me tab, right?
Yeah.
That is what it is. Sweden being the employee, if not assigned to proper layouts, she won't able to see the list of values there and she can't able to do any time entry activities. But Oracle system by default provides some layout which doesn't have the list of values and it is how it looks like. and we can see that this employee is not configured properly, and we need to check in the backend setup and maintenance area and look for what happened with this employee, and we need to fix that up. Okay, so this is how we can identify the employee doesn't have the proper configurations in a setup for doing the time entry activity. Okay, clear? Still no doubt?
No, okay.
Okay, so anybody else? I think Lovaraju was just unmuted and was about to ask something. Any doubt? So this is the difference. So if it is assigned, then we'll get it properly. The list of values will be seen and you can able to enter the time. Okay, so from the setup and maintenance area, we'll see. So as of now, I'm just doing the approve. Okay, from here also we can approve, or from outside also we can approve. So if you approve here, we can see the green, like before how we can see that we can see. Let me just cancel this one and do the approval from outside. Just loading. Okay, it's still in submitted. Just selecting, click on actions, approve. System is just processing. Don't be in a hurry. Don't just move to the other tab and all. Just load and take some time. We submitted and try approving again. Select, okay. Just selecting, proof. Please submit a time card. This might be some
It has
glitch
to submit
environment.
it.
Sorry?
After completely submitted this task, then only it approve, I think.
Yeah,
It is,
we did the submission already, right?
but
See,
it is
the
in the
approve.
progress.
No. It's nothing to do. You can see approved here coming up, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
system glitch will happen. So we need to have the patience sometimes. It will happen for sure. It will just confuse you, but have some patience because it is a common environment like many people using here. So maybe that is one of the reason. Or sometimes this, what is this? Redwood page itself is sometimes buffering. So sometimes this task area is little tricky. So just go back and come again. So the issue will get sorted out.
Yeah,
So that's why I
Lakshmi,
just clicked in.
I'll ask you one doubt. Okay. So whether this time card has been submitted for somebody else approval, right? Go to actions and go to approval history. Earlier it was submitted for somebody else, right?
Yes, because that was overtime rule configured there. So it went for approval. So it is within the scheduled hours. So it is just, the system gets automatically submitted. It's based on approval. It is working just.
Okay, based on approval engine, again it came back to courtesy fitting.
It's not coming back to courtesy fitting. The system is doing the auto approval. So once it is getting like the courtesy fitting is doing the approval by himself. Or yeah. So overridden by time and labor, courtesy fitting.
Auto approval means it will be automatically approved or it will come back to him only to approve it.
Withdrawn. I think once it is submitted, it should get approved. Approved as over time and labor manager. Yes, it is overridden by time and labor manager, and yeah, I got it. So what the configuration from the approval side happened is, previously Andrew is a person who is supposed to approve it, and Curtis being the super user, he just hit this approve, and
That's what, yeah, it was overridden. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So why none of you has asked this question, guys? Are you following the one? Bhavya, why you have not asked this question? Last time she has shown you that the approval went for Andrew, right?
Yes.
And all of a sudden she is approving. Means that Curtis Fitty himself is approving that one. You should have asked her that question, right?
Yes, I have seen that the status was when I seen it was approved, but it's shown
No,
the warning message also.
Now what is my question here is, so as per approval history, where it went for Andrew, right?
Yes.
But again, System is allowing Curtis Fitty to approve that one. Generally, it will not allow that one. But here it is been override by the time and labor manager. See, the Curtis Fitty himself is a time and labor manager, and again, and based upon his privileges, it is allowing him to override the approval. So approvals are very much complicated if you don't understand properly. Okay, anyhow, we will see that later. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Lakshmi. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Pavan. So yeah, I think I missed to ask the question, but that's the reason I was planning. First, initially shown you the approval history, then again doing some changes and submitting it and approving. So that's how you need to understand the things. Like try to connect the dots with whenever I tell some area, stop me and ask the question so I can explain you in even better. Or yeah, that's how it works. Okay, so any doubts from this area? So there is no hurry. We can discuss. Take one task area, just play around that area, explore what is there, what is this function does, what is the additional statuses mean, what does it do, what is the changes that populates here, what if the other action is performed, and how we can make use of this single action tab, or this action tab is also there. How we can disable it, how we can enable it. So try to pull workflows into it, and approvals into it, and the roles and securities things, how we can try to just think as a wholesome how the system functions. Okay, first we'll focus on the overtime, the OTL itself, the configurations part. But meantime, we also need to, you guys, if you know the core HR, so you guys have already performed or known about the other modules, then try to link. So how this functions, how that functions. So from the UI, you already know the Me tab, the My Team tab. I will also tell you, but still, you also try to connect and understand, read through the information provided there. So many things by itself, it just lets us know. See, override is the function that has happened here. That by seeing the wording itself, we can understand. So there is nothing that we can't understand. So if I can understand, you guys also can understand. Just try exploring the system, perform the activities. That will make the life easy to do the OTL. Initially, we feel like too much, but you need to make it as a step-by-step process. Don't go and try to do everything at the same time. Just go on task area, pick it up, just follow why these fields are coming up, how we can make different fields visible. If client don't want this exception field, what we can do. So this task area is there, this action button is there, how to disable this addition button. For example, there is one such requirement I got from a client, that even within the HR specialist role, like Gutties have, there are other set of HR specialists who doesn't have the privilege of doing any activities of this one as well as this one, except this view option. They can only view what are all there. They can't able to perform edit or approve any functions or this one. So how that can be accomplished? So integrate the roles and privileges concept here. So just try to understand as a whole, and how we can do the more the question that you ask, the better the solution that you will get. Okay. So this task area is clear, right? Guys, any doubt? Anything? So you also have these filters you can use. Click on filter. You can group by name. If there is any things coming up, date range, or you want to just see the date range for last month, specific period, what are all the times entered and submitted. So those you can filter out, and just filter by using line manager, like based on Curtis Fitty or any other line managers. You can, Andrew is one of the line managers that we have seen before, right? Because we have picked up Collins, so we can see his line manager coming up below. So if you choose that, all his team members time entries will be populated. So that is how the filter option works. So explore these functions. Filters, we have all the options of exploring based on location, department, even based on resubmission status, and payroll transfer status based on task name. Inactive assignments, if it is inactive or terminated, we can just find out reported hours. Based on reported hours, we can see it. So these are all the filters that we can explore. Okay, we can use it. If you don't want a specific only single employee based on the number on the name, you want a set of group of employees to be seen based on these filters, you can always use this filter option. Okay, there is also this download option which is available. You can just export the time card of this person and you can just save it. Just for reporting purpose or something to share with other person, they will just use normally this one. And customize column option is there. So I was asking you, right, how we can just remove this exception, how we can add the person number also into it, how you can make the person number visible. Okay, just added the person number and see. This is what basically we can try exploring each and every options, whatever is available in a single area. Our motto is understand Oracle time and labor as a whole, instead of just going and checking on configurations alone. So try to understand and explore each and every.
Actually, can I ask one question?
Sure, please. Yeah.
If it is sick leave, we will enter. If it's a public holiday, how it will go?
Public holiday, that is a very good question. That is a tricky one here in US legislation too, because we can make it default the public holidays in the time card through the calendar events tasks. So we have the option of setting up through there. And yeah, it is another different complete set of requirement itself. So we can make it default there, or public holidays can be handled from absence management side. So they will use it as a separate absence type and plan, and we can make public holiday to be enterable. Or if we want to make like in our organization, they have only mandatory 8 days of public holidays for that legislation, or for example Memorial Day, and more such leaves are mandatory for specific areas. So here in India we have Independence Day and Republic Day, those Gandhi Jayanti and all will be there, right? So as a mandate, so that we can do it from the calendar events tasks area. So that is a separate area we can discuss from the configuration. So we need not to, the employee or line manager or even the HR specialist need not to add from the time card. It automatically populates. It will be more like a grayed out field. So here you once you view the time entry screen, right, you can't now edit. You need to edit the only when you create on click on edit, you can able to edit, right? So likewise it will get grayed out, you can't able to edit. You can do that function and make it as a default entry automatically coming without doing any changes here from the time entry screen. So that is a separate task area. So hold this question. I will ask you by the time when we are doing the configurations, and it is possible here in Oracle Fusion. That's a good question, Bhavya.
Okay.
That is a separate scenario itself. We can discuss on a single day. So we need to look on what is there, what is the time that we need to set. It is a AM or PM. So it should, it is like sometimes difficult to populate automatically. So we'll see every task fields how we need to do from the calendar event side, so that we can do, and we can make it defaulted here. This is a good question and interview question also, because it is one of the biggest client requirement that we can expect from the US side. Any other doubts like this, or any doubts?
Okay, team, if you don't have doubts, we can wind up the session.
So today's assignment would be then try to pick an employee. I'll share you the names along with the person number to Pavan, so that he can circulate with you, and you guys can pick one employee and maintain as a single tracker, or you can just put it in the chat as I'm taking this employee, so that others can't able to mess with that employee, because no one knows who did changes with one person, right? So it is better that you pick one person individually and work with that person. First, explore the UI, how it looks like, so that when we move to the next day, the setup and maintenance area, how we need to do the configurations, it is easy for you to understand. So what we have seen now is just from the HR specialist. So we'll explore from my team as a line manager how we can do, and from the Meet tab also we have partially covered, like how it is visible, why it is not visible and all we have seen. So from the configuration side, we will take these questions also. Remember and mark and keep as a document also. That is not an issue at all. Whatever you ask, whatever been discussed or answered, so mark a note, make a note of it in your document, in your notepad or somewhere. And whenever that discussion comes up again in the configuration side, you just remember the discussion that we had on that day, so that you can easily able to connect the dots, because it is like a vast field, so hard to remember at the very beginning. The best way is to document, keep all the discussions, important discussions, or the questions discussed and asked. So it is a better way you can able to be in a flow to connect and understand whatever we discussed here. And by the end of OTL training, you will be short will be an expert in doing the activities in and out. You can able to answer the interview question as well. So the effort that we are putting daily is all for your betterment. So make track of the documents properly, the questions, the discussion points. Yes, Bhavya, you just unmuted. Want to tell anything?
No, Lakshmi, no.
Okay. So if it's clear, then we can wind up for the day, and the assignment would be exploring the team time cards area. Okay, the first 2-3 days it will be like this only. I want you guys to just adapt with the UI first. Then once we get into the configurations, you will, I need not to explain things. You itself will understand everything, but I will surely explain you everything, how it is connecting, but you can easily understand and connect the dots. You won't get doubts. You will start asking doubts from the requirement standpoint instead of being from the basic sides. Okay, so we had a good discussion and session today, hopefully, and hope we'll see more such discussions and good points coming up. Okay, thank you guys.